Hello everyone, welcome back to the wonderful world of Napoleonic Wars, and we have a special event here for you today. It is the 10th anniversary of the 4th Corps, and we have many people here to help celebrate. As you can see, plenty of the 4th. We've got the PG in here as well, and on the opposing side we got some from the 33rd and 92nd, the VA Guard, and the 14th, you name it. So, for those of you not aware, if my memory serves me, this is from Hearts of Iron 3, but obviously you have regiments, and then multiple regiments can make up a corps, multiple corps make up an army. So, that's generally how it works. So let's go and see what's... Oh my goodness, it's ESO Honda from the 56th, part of the 1st Brigade. Oh, torpedo heads coming in. Major Joseph, Sergeant Major Joseph. There's Atlas. What's going on over here? Man with a spyglass. Adjutant Snowflake of the 56th. And they are using capture the flag. So we are capturing flags today. Which is why you'll see the cursor turn up occasionally. Unfortunately, that's something that's out of my control. It's just one of those things that happens when, you know, flags get captured. Like this one at the river. Look at this. Nice shallow crossing. So you're going to get your boots wet, but you won't get your cartridges wet. See? There's the cursor in the centre. A little bit annoying, but it is what it is. So, Conquest is the name of the game. Oh my goodness. And look at that. A joyous anniversary for the 4th Corps. Bunch of spamming what's-its. They're happy. And here, Adjutant Baptiste from the 4th, from the VA Guard Grenadiers, I believe. And here they are all moving out. There's Major Delatre at the rear, and as I kill, obviously, all of their names. Murder all their names horribly. As is my want for the French, you poor buggers. Oh my goodness. There's loads over here. It's the PG, Adjutant Bionen. Followed by his fine line. Look at this, keeping their rifles out of the water. Adjutant de Saint-Pierre at the back. Just going to turn the game sounds down a touch. As a nice line from these fellows engaging the enemy. Oh, goodness me. The VA Guard are losing their numbers. But they've stood and fought. Look at these guys. Being trimmed down to the last man. Montfort. Oh, goodness. Cavalry's after him. We're going to watch Montfort as he battles with the cavalry. Oh, fine stab, sir. And into the bottom of the cavalryman. So Montfort, very, very pleased, no doubt, to be surviving. Would probably prefer to have some friends, but he's off to find some more. Meanwhile, after claiming a cavalry kill, what's going on over here? A man's left behind. Maxence 4 from the 4th, from the 7th Regiment. Oh, nice kill again. Oh, Montfort's on fire, and he's now not. Oh, poor Montfort. Never mind. Anyway, let's go and have a look at the PG, this fine detachment of fellows with the Darank, or Darek I should say, from the 6th Hussars. Hussars. Oh goodness me, the officer's just taken a shot. So he's going to be bleeding somewhat. Yeah, look at that. Blood on his tunic, got hit in the hip. Not a good situation for him. Oh, dodging left and right to try and capture the flag. Avoid those bullets as cavalry disappears off into the horizon and more fire comes in from opposing forces. So the French currently doing all right. You can see up the top there's these scores. Now that score usually refers to things like tickets. Oh goodness. Oh, that didn't go well. So Runek's clearly demoted off of the cannon by the sound of it. Here is the 2E. pyrometal. Oh, goodness me, look at this line. This is a line of death, all right. And now they move over. On to the next point to see if they can claim some more victims. We'll have to wait and see how it turns out. But they are supported by cavalry. Oh, hello. Gicardo under pressure from the cav. And he's deftly using the rock and a horse to defend himself. But unfortunately got sliced across the back. Couldn't defend himself from everywhere. Looks like another Prussian hussar taking down some of the enemy. Fine slicing. Oh, he's crashing to a rock. Oh, look at that. Runes with a wonderful shot onto the 32nd. Quite a number of those boys have been taken down. Let's see if we can find the 32nd, see what sort of state they're in. Here they are. And more cannonballs come bouncing through. And you can see these guys here from the 14E putting up barricades to offer a little bit of protection. As you can see, the 14E are currently lacking people. So they're going to be taking cover over here. Well, who's having a dance in the field out here? You can see they've lost a couple of people. It's the 32nd. And they've lost another one. Teaming up with some of their friends from the 33rd. Major Cedric and Co. And they're probably going to then push on forward to greater glory and maybe some horrible death. We'll have to wait and see. Speaking of horrible death, something coming from the 45th. And they're a little bit more exposed, obviously, because they've got a larger line. They're going to close up those gaps in the line. And it looks like the Prussian forces are taking the majority of the casualties. Yep, that's pretty much the way it looks. And these guys are then going to start moving out towards these ruins. Make use of the cover to hide their forces. Try and avoid the bullets if they possibly can. But no, they've decided to break and charge into the main field. So the Prussians have lost flag number 5. What's going on down here? It's Burgundy, marksman of the 33rd, fighting for his life on the riverside. Sadly, his life is now ebbing away into the river. What's going on over here? And there's Sir Legion falling, murdered horribly in the field. As we catch up with the PG, with Björnen, sword in hand, leading his lads forward. Let's look around. Here is the 92nd, still a formidable line of Prussians, led by the man himself, Colonel Spoons. Fine beard. So, they're going to start moving up towards the French, who look to be maybe pulling back. Difficult to say. I think it's fair to say they are going to be trying to sort their numbers out. Now, this is going to be a problem for them, because they've now got Spoons and the 33rd moving up on their flank to try and outflank them with a sneaky little manoeuvre. And they might break into melee combat. Oh, look at that. The 33rd have been jumped on by the cavalry. The 4th Cavalry coming in. Matt there with a little bit of murderization going on. And this is bad news for the 33rd. Gangster Boy finished off. Let's see if we can get back with those guys. Where are they? Here you can see the 6E Cavalry having a little bit of a murder session. And the PG supporting their French comrades. I think it's fair to say it's all over for the 33rd. By the looks of it, they've been murdered to a man. A fine ambush by the French cavalry. So they made the most of that opportunity when they were under attack from the opposing forces. The cavalry jumped in there for a little bit of a punch-up. Oh, goodness me, we're on the docks. What is going on with here, this lot? Oh, there's always some action on the docks. We'll have to wait and see how it turns out for these boys. Oh, there's more of them up here. Here they are, up on the top of the building. And there's a cannon as well. So we've got these fellows here from the 92nd and the 14th. Looking to fire a little bit of cannonball-y fun towards the enemy. Oh, we're looking at recruit Meme Lord Ozai, fighting for his life. Oh, he managed to get survive thanks to one of his teammates. Oh, bullets, look at that. Bouncing around their opponents. Oh, the French are coming, Meme Lord. He's going to have to... Yep, he's reloaded. He's going in for a shot. And he kills one of his enemy. And now decides to cheese it in the opposite direction. While engineer of note, here he is, Naox 9. Doing some fine engineering defensive positions. Looking to put some stuff into the ground. Offer a little bit of cover for the men. Something they can hide behind. Meanwhile, the Prussians continue to push the advance forward against the French. Now let's have a look at the numbers. So in 95 versus 86. Obviously, oh goodness me, look at that. The 92nd again catching cannonballs with their face. Not good for them. Let's see if we can find some of these fine fellows. Oh, there's the VA guard in... I was about to say in formation, but then they changed. Typical. So let's go and have a look. Here's the 92nd. They're fighting at the church. And look at the bodies surrounding. And now support comes in from the 32nd against the French. What a fantastic shot there from the mortar. Taking down multiple members of the PG. Look at this. The French Imperial Eagle remains standing, however. And it's been stolen by the Prussians. As the remaining French are mopped up by the forces of the Prussian army. George Campbell, Colour Sergeant Major for the 92nd. As the fight continues around the back here. Look at these guys. They're quite literally, their backs are against the wall. This is a bad situation for Reddy from the 31st Regiment, part of the 4E. Yep, as so it proves. Bye, Reddy. Yeah. That was kind of an inevitability, unfortunately. So, out goes the cannons. The balls, so to speak. It's all about the balls. And there in Niox doing his work. Putting sandbags in as well. Extra cover for the folks. Maybe even put in an anti-cavalry defensive position. Yeah, and there we go. Spikes to stop the horses. Meanwhile, the battle goes on above. And it looks like those guys have managed to deal a damage to the enemy. As a cannonball comes in from Runex, taking down members of the 33rd and the 92nd. Look at this. Just bodies everywhere right now. And the Prussians currently hold this flag. This is where most of the action's occurring. And, oh, look at this. Defensive position here. Marked and blocked with fine spiky things. Now, let's see. Are there any entrances elsewhere? No, there are not. So these guys are very well barricaded in. They've got a mortar. So that will give them a slight advantage. Oh, that's interesting. They can walk up the side here and get in. But then, there we go. See, look, the engineer. There's Narrow, who's the engineer of the 14th. Doing a fine job with the defensive positions. So, as you can see, top left-hand side, you can see the tickets. Who has the advantage, who has the disadvantage, and it's very, very close. The French army at this current moment have the slight advantage. We'll have to wait and see how it turns out. And I think they're going to play for maybe another 20-25 minutes and see who the eventual winner is. As there we go. Looks like we got another push coming in. Let's see here. Is the 31st Regiment. General Stefan. And these guys trying to sort of stay out of the way of the cannons and the trouble that's coming in their direction. There's our Vern invitation and for the 45th tonight. Let's go and have a look around. Thomas Unicorn. Not as rare as you might think. Ouch. The 45th hit with a fantastic mortar shot, a 5-banger. Always difficult to aim those things. So, the fights in the churchyard continue. With cavalry and now French infiltrating. Well, I wouldn't say infiltrating, they're just running down the road. Oh dear, this is not going to be good. The PG coming in, they're going to attack as well. You've got the 3rd Artillery also getting into the fight. Lieutenant Swatex from the 1st Hussars currently fighting for his life and failing, sadly for him. Too many 17 inches in the face. So, look at this melee going on here. Yeah, look at that. The torpedo heads fighting back. Antoine Pies, or Pales? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Sorry, Antoine. But he's doing a good job of defending himself. And more Prussians come flowing through the buildings. Hello, horse. And there are French Imperial Eagles all over the place. Now more cavalry comes flying in. Prussians being taken down. Horse assassination occurring. Oh, that's going to be an unfortunate defensive position for somebody. I survived that. I was saved by a horse butt. Oh, goodness. Big Loogie. Grenadier of the 2nd. Oh, that's going to be bad for him. And so it proved to be. Étranger from the 45th. Soldier. Melee combatter. And corpse. Oh dear. What's going on over here? Sebedesser. Or Sebdesser. Member of the 3rd Artillery. Cannoneer. Stealing a Johnson's baby bud. No doubt to clear his ears. And now you've got Colonel John Gordon, commanding officer of the 92nd, leading the 92nd, as you can see here. Correction. More 33rd just got trimmed out of the roster, courtesy of a cannonball, and now these guys are fighting back against the 6E Hussars. Look at this. Archibald Halfrod, captain of the 92nd. The horses are backed off, and now you can see the Prussians running through the open field, pushing up towards the French encampment. And to start capturing the flag, it's the 2nd Grenadiers. Grenadier Pony. As more fighting continues. Recruit siege. There's Big Loogie. And it looks like the French have held it. But for how long? As the Prussian steamroller comes to pay a visit. And it looks like, ironically, it's the steamroller who's going to get rolled. Yeah, that's pretty much the case. One man left. Correction, one man leaving. Donald Witt. He's got a bit of wit about him, so he knows he's not going to stick around. But now the Frenchmen are crowding him. And he's trying to defend himself. Oh, he's backed up against the rock. This is bad news. And so it proved to be. Well, precisely. Oh, trouble in the ranks. The French army with a bit of... Oh, goodness. What is Corporal A doing? See, I don't know what it is about engineers and artillery, but if you leave them on their own for too long, you start getting ridiculous builds like this. It's, yeah. Strange commonality that seems to happen. Here, the 4th, 2nd Grenadiers, together with Toxic DC, corporal of this line. Who's the man at the end? There's Silex, Grenadier of the 2nd. Some of these guys. Looks like Big Loogie's just taken a hit. Yeah, he's badly bleeding. Not looking good for him. But we'll have to wait and see how it turns out. Anyway. Excuse me. Sorry. Well, I paused to cough. So. I hear some drumming. It's Q-Tech. We'll call him Q-Tech, it's easier. From the 45th, a soldier. See what I mean? What I tell you about these engineers? Abu Bakr, I suppose you could call him, and he's failed. That's what happens. Nice suicide there from Abu. But I suppose you could call this a observation tower, or maybe a suicide tower. Difficult to say, but that seems to be what's happening. Recruit Gimli of the 45th. Look at him, doesn't he look lovely and shiny? Oh dear. As we move over to this crop of buildings and the French defensive position, which is currently under attack by a lot of people. Strange, well, who would have thought? Now, these guys in the PG getting regrouped. Not anymore, they're not. Oh dear. So, the regrouping, as you can see, did not go well. And more men are spawning. That's the advantage of this. The advantage is that they can spawn on any flags that they hold. In the same way that, you know, Battlefield and stuff like that is done. So, here we can see Seb Dessert and Daddy Ed. Oh dear me, excuse me. Frog in the throat. Ananas from the 31st. Random Horse 01. French Tricolor out in the middle of the field, complete with gold Imperial Eagle. Look at him, isn't he beautiful? I don't know if I think some of those still exist in a museum somewhere. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. Probably do, actually. Here's Awanik from the 32nd, followed by Ensign Pelvic Thrusts with a fine moustache on the face. Oh my goodness, look at that nose. It looks like somebody smacked him with a shovel. Here's Lalosi 1, Leosi, Shazar, Skinrender, Emil, EA Sucks, WRX3, Embert, who's this? Purple Cow of the 32nd, there's a name I recognise. And here is Kai Wam. So you can see here the French have lost flag number 4. And the French definitely have the advantage. If you look in the top left, you can see the difference in tickets. With about, I would say, 15 minutes until they call it. So, the Prussians attack the flag. The French flag is now starting to drop, as you can see here. Now, the question is whether or not there's going to be any French reinforcements coming in. There are some French forces who are responding to the attack. And it looks like some cavalry might be coming in. There we go. The Prussians capture flag number 2. And the French cavalry pounce on flag number 2 to try and clear up the mess. Ozican, recruit of the 6th Hussars. Huzzah! Or they're hussars. Royal McCabe. Fusilier of the 92nd. Picking up a musket because of the extra reach that it provides rather than just a sword. So, not looking too bad. Let's see. Oh, look at this lovely line over here. Moving out in force. It's the PG again. Or some of the PG, I should say. Some are being left behind to line the sun. As you can see, sunning themselves, trying to even up the suntan. Doesn't always work out the way they plan. But, you know, these are issues that we can overcome. Usually with bullets or cannonballs, but... Oh dear, that's bad news there. The Prussians are now defending this particular position. And there we go, down goes the horsey. Oh, that's going to be an interesting... Roy Otto, corporal of the 92nd, spawning at the flag to defend against the French which are coming in their direction. The cannon positions are being loaded by Hayro, sergeant of the 14th. Meanwhile, over at engineering point, George Campbell seems to be having a seizure. And Horatio Maximus, what a fine name. Shooting back at the enemy out in the field, of which there's mostly corpses, let's face it. Horse corpses, and there goes the 4E. Who was that? That's the 31st. Taking some cannonballs, and the VI Guard, who seem to have some kind of magnetic attraction to cannonballs. I don't know what it is. It's just, maybe it's just them. Anyway, moving out under Adjutant Bunon, the PG. Gene Morgan at the back. And there we go, look at that. They came out here. And we've disappeared. We've lost them. Anyway, we're now in with the 2nd Grenadiers. Under attack from cavalry. And look at this. Swartex. First Lieutenant of the Hussars, or Hussars. Keep calling him Hussars with a Z when it should be with an S. And down goes one of their commanding officers. This is bad news for them. The long reach of that deadly cavalry sabre. But they do have the advantage of numbers. It's strunk, I should say. And down he goes, sliced across the front of the belly. He is no more. So, Henry McNeil of the 92nd, forming this Prussian defensive position. Oh dear, the VA Guard have just been cut to ribbons. Not good. Not good for them. Down goes another torpedo head. As it looks like here, the French flag has been secured. So, let's go and see what's going on over here with the 45th. Hello. Men flying down from houses, melee occurring out the front of the building. Cannonballs being fired, random people running down the road. And then back across. Yep, yeah, it's not going to go good for Kleber. Kleber 2 times. His enemy's been cut down by the bullets. And it's his turn to have a lie in the sand. Well, the gravel mostly, I would say. Anyway, at the top here, the like of Zambrak 71. Invitational Perrier. Complete with bubbles. Who is this fellow? Volt Raptor from the 31st. So, there we go. The tricolor has been retrieved. And now this long line is moving out. You've got the 45th working together with other parts of the 45th. Under the lead of Adjutant Exeter. With a fine beard indeed, sir. Now, who are these fellas out on their own? These are from the 32nd, who appear lost. Well, he's not lost anymore. In fact, the problems that plagued him when he was lost no longer plague him. Anyway, these fellows were the Prussians. There's Marksman Supak of the 33rd, Ensign Alec, Sir Legion, Giorno, Swagged Out Custard. Jesus, what a wonderful name. I love that name, Swagged Out Custard. Oh dear, I love it. Marksman Burgundy, and leading these boys forward is of course their erstwhile Commander-in-Chief, Colonel Spoons. Uh-oh. And now there may be the erstwhile ex-Commander-in-Chief, as he's currently being diddled by many horses, which is not his normal night out from what I understand. So it didn't go well for Spoons there. To quote the Matrix, there is no Spoon. Well, not anymore, but until the next respawn. But anyway, that aside, at least some of the French have survived. It's easy to find them when they've got these little submarine periscopes above them. So they're walking through the water to the battle on the bridge. We'll have to wait and see how that turns out. Let's look around. Look at the difference in tickets. About 300, 350, 370 odd tickets difference between the Prussians and the French have the advantage right now. And we're looking at about, I think, 7 minutes to 8, so they got about 7 minutes to try and even it up a little bit. Otherwise, the French forces will take the victory. We'll have to wait and see. So, here's Ozican. Look, stopping the horse. Oh dear. Oh no. Went to do a bit of Grand Theft Horsey and paid the ultimate price. Courtesy of a fine volley coming in from these fellows, the torpedo heads. That is the VA Guard. Major de la Terre. I think that's how you pronounce it. Auguste. Adjutant Baptiste. The fine tradition of excellent moustaches in the VA Guard, I have to say. Well, one exception. Maybe he's a recruit. That's some serious moustache work going on here from the VA Guard. So, nice team kills in there as well, just to add to the fun. Now, Uranos. Yeah, Uranos, yes, sorry. Up the top here, along with Pyrex. Also defending his recruit siege. I wonder if he's got if he's had a son, would he be mini siege? No, just thinking. Anyway. What is going on with Zigrar Invitational to the 45th? Currently seems to be standing guard at the flag. As you can see here, Adjutant Binon and the other members of the PG are lining up. Oh look, horses. Oh look, cannonballs. They've got it all at this party. This is a party you won't forget in this town. From the 3rd Regiment, you can see Abu Bakr, engineer of choice for these fine fellows. Assisting in the building of defences. As you can see, the defences didn't work out that well as they would have hoped, I should say. However, cannons, you can see here, they brought the 2 cannons into this position to use for serious firepower down this long street that the enemy are coming down. As you can see from the kill feed on the left there, they're definitely claiming some victims. Archibald Halfrod is no more. Here's Supak, marksman of the 33rd. They're charging through the open field. Mortar shots coming out, which will be coming from this building up here. Hello. Who's the marksman of choice here? It's Runex. Looking for a shot. And away it goes. into the air. It'll drop down here somewhere. Or maybe it's going long distance. We'll have to wait and see. It's actually going long distance. So, could be they're hitting the spawn, which would be rather naughty. And here is Ready. Unfortunately, his brave attempts to take a pot shot at the enemy. Oh, there we go. We got 5 minutes remaining. And now, there goes Ready. He was not ready, sadly. And now, there's Dad, or Dad Dead, or Dadid. I don't know. Watching the back of the French defences, Corporal's Arc. And these fellows, oh God. The PG doing their calisthenics. Now is not the time, gentlemen. Along with members of the 31st. This is why I love Napoleonic Wars players. They're such a bunch of numpties. Look at them. And look, now you've got more people all joining in. Trying to synchronize. Oh dear. Look at these guys. 5 minutes left and this is what happens. This is what happens when you leave Napoleonic Wars players on their own for too long. Just ridiculousness like that starts. So, now moving... Ouch! A fine shot coming in from the 14th. Knight Z with a fantastic cannon shot. That's going to probably put him somewhere up the high part of the scoreboard. Beautiful shot indeed. And now the cavalry moving into the Prussian flag. As the, it's the 7th Hussars. Looking to take out Ecure Henry and friends of the 14th. And you can see here, Raid, Grenadier of the 2nd. More fire coming in on the main flag position. The French have made it into the flag, but you can see here defending. Oh wow, look at that, drop like a stone. Holy crap. The Prussians really got cut to pieces on that flag. So 1 minute remaining. I think it's fair to say that the French will be winning this battle. So far, as they have more tickets remaining. Who's this out on his own? Zombrak 71. Making his way over to the French forces. Oh, hello. Melee combat in the church area. Probably considered sacrilegious, but, you know, what the hell. It's not actually on church property, I suppose you could say, not within the church itself. It's more of a chapel than a church. I think it doesn't have a, well, doesn't have a roof for a start, so, you know, borderline churching is occurring. Oh my goodness, look at this. See what I mean about engineers, defense? Yeah. Okay. So, under the gaze of the stone cross in the center yard, the French continue to defend themselves. The 45th here. Recruit Weister, I think that was. And you've got Jacques here from the PG getting horribly murdered by the Prussians. You got Jack SK also moving up from the 56th. These guys moving in on this final point, being defended by the French members of the 31st. Cannonballs being dropped all over the place. Canister shot as well, claiming victims. And that's where most of the attacks are actually occurring, and the defensive positions, because you've got this place here coming in from here, where they've tried to build some more defences to just stop the enemy coming flowing down here. I'm surprised they didn't put more defences up here, but there's only one mound with a body on it. And there we go. And just to end it, Here we have the fine attendees of the 4th Corps celebration event. Look at all these fine fellows, don't they look wonderful? And including, obviously, the numpties at the back on the plank. Look at these fine fellows. Of course it's the VA Guard. Of course they'll be organised and lined up perfectly. As I said to the organisers, it's like herding cats, this lot. But look at that. A fine turnout, minus the corpses, obviously. But there you have it. What are this lot doing out the front? The 31st. It's difficult to take a shot when one of them moves. See what I mean? It's like you want to be able to freeze the server. And there we go. They've taken a picture. Let the team killing commence. Yep, always does. Always does with Napoleonic Wars players. Except maybe if the VA Guard. Oh no. Goodbye, VA Guard.